my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
What's good, everybody? As you could probably tell by the title of the video, today I want to talk about the recent move the Miami Heat made in acquiring Victor Oladipo from the Houston Rockets during last week's NBA trade deadline. If you're new here, please make sure to leave a like on the video as it makes a great impact on this channel's growth, and comment down below your thoughts on this trade. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Coming into this season, the expectations for this Miami Heat team were high due to the success they had in the bubble last year. Going all the way to the finals as a 5th seed is impressive in itself, but pushing the Lakers to 6 games helped gain this team more respect for this accomplishment, especially considering that there was not a lot of people who expected this type of success, except for Heat fans. But clearly they were unsatisfied with how it ended and looked to run it back this year in hopes of winning another title and build upon the tremendous season. Unfortunately for them, they got off to a really poor start, with Jimmy Butler missing 15 games this year, and that certainly didn't help. With Butler in the lineup, they have a 60% win percentage as they're 20-13, but without him, it drops down drastically to a win percentage of 26% with a 4-11 record. When you talk about someone of value, Jimmy Butler should be near to the top of the list, as he constantly brings them good scoring, playmaking, and defense night in and night out. As we saw last year, he seemed to will his team to wins and dominate throughout the series, and although it ended in a loss, he became the first player in NBA Finals history to lead his team in all 5 major statistics, with points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. Well, the first besides this guy, of course. In addition to Butler, the Heat's supporting pieces complement him nicely. You got a guy like Bam Adebayo, a versatile big man who can give you outstanding defense, rebounding, along with a steadily improving offensive game. Then you got guys like Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson, who are all good shooters and played big roles during last year's playoff run. And then you add defensive wings such as Andre Iguodala and Trevor Ariza. They have all the right pieces to compete for an NBA title, but adding Oladipo can help push them further. Now, with every trade, there are bound to be overreactions and quick judgments, so let's really take a look at what Oladipo can provide to this team and see if it's enough to push the needle toward a title. Victor Oladipo is a 2-time NBA All-Star, appearing in 29 games this season between the Houston Rockets and the Indiana Pacers, and averaging 20.8 points, 5 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.3 steals, along with 33.4 minutes, while shooting 41% from the field. And he's got the ability to score the ball in multiple ways, such as finishing, drawing free throws, mid-range, and 3-pointers. Although with that being said, his shooting has taken a slight dip this year, particularly from 3, as he averaged 36% at the beginning of the season to now 32% on 8 attempts per game. Despite this, I still think having another guy that can go and get you a bucket while still being a good perimeter defender is something valuable, especially come playoff time. The benefit of the playstyle of the Heat is that it allows multiple players to contribute in a balanced way, and having Oladipo contribute is only a bonus. My one concern with the move is the fit. How will Oladipo play alongside the likes of the other players the Heat already have? I expect the Heat to roll out some small ball lineups, such as having Jimmy Butler as a small ball 4 with 3 guards out on the floor, to provide extra spacing and scoring to close out games. And considering what the Heat gave up to acquire Oladipo, this is a win for them. I mean, losing Avery Bradley isn't too much of a big deal, considering Oladipo will give you a similar skill set with higher production. And Kelly Olynyk is not a significant enough piece that should prevent you from getting him. I am interested on seeing how the Heat will play going forward, but I definitely believe this is an upgrade in every way. And if they're able to retain him for more years, as he's already been linked to liking Miami as a destination in his upcoming free agency, then it looks more and more like this was the right move for the team and their culture. With all that being said, what does this move mean for the Rockets? Hey, Rockets fans, how are y'all doing? Because right now this team is rough, man. Yeah, I know. It's a 20-game losing streak. But anyways, going into the year, there was an expectation that James Harden would be later traded at one point after they traded Russell Westbrook in exchange for John Wall. And we finally did see them pull the trigger on a trade, as they sent Harden to the Brooklyn Nets for 8 draft picks. Now, whether or not draft compensation is truly as valuable is a debate for another day, but the fact that they secured 8 picks is still impressive. However, what is concerning is that the players they received. I mean, was 20 games of Victor Oladipo, Avery Bradley, and Kelly Olynyk really the type of value you have for James Harden?
Hell no!
I do think this type of deal is one that looks completely lopsided in favor of Brooklyn, but it is going to be interesting to see how Houston handles this situation going forward. And now I do think the Rockets missed out on an opportunity to demand more players in return that have higher value than Victor Oladipo on an expiring contract, such as Karis LeVert or Jared Allen, who was also part of the deal. But as far as the actual value for Oladipo, there wasn't much to begin with, as any team who traded for him knew there was a risk of losing him in the offseason. And the package they received for him was never going to be on par with the quality of a guy like Victor, because the other teams, like Miami, had all the leverage. They knew Houston was desperate to make a deal, and we saw they ultimately had to settle because of that. With all of that, it's hard to say Houston won this particular trade, because again, it was impossible to receive any valuable assets. If I had to give him a letter grade, at most it would be a D, but realistically, it's an F. Now with the Houston Rockets going to full rebuild mode, I am really excited to see how Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. is going to play on this Rockets team. I definitely think that there is some potential for these guys. And hey, who knows, maybe the Rockets are able to get a guy like Cade Cunningham to help their rebuild process. That's going to be all, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, as it makes a great impact on the channel, and subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for your time. Hope you have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.